Hey guys, welcome back to the another video, another short or mini review I will say, because today we are going to do the review about Murakami books. It's been a long time that lot of people ask that please do the Murakami review, please do the Murakami review. But there is one problem that I've faced while doing the Murakami review. It's to remember all the names in the book, because it's really hard to remember all the Japanese name. It's not like कि वो हमारे इंडियन नेम्स होते हैं जैसे गौरव, श्रीकांत or any other name जो कि Indian names होते, they are very different names. Like when we will talk about these three mini books review, then you will understand कि भाई वो names बहुत ही different है. It's not like कि यार आप easily remember कर सकते हो. So let's get into the video. I have finished three books by the Murakami. First one is Orange Ode by the Murakami. Second one is Men Without Women, and third one is Kafka on the Shore. The first one I finished is Kafka on the Shore, second one is Men Without Women, and third one is Orange Ode. I see a lot of people talk about the Murakami books, like there are still many books that I wanted to read. There is another Murakami book I have which is After Dark, which will I talk about someday later, because I'm yet to read this book, even though it's a very small book, but I'm yet to finish that. But I have finished three books by the Murakami, and let's talk about the Murakami books. Let's talk about what I liked, what I disliked, and what you should do, if you should read that book or नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए, क्या करना चाहिए. So let's get into the video. The first book that we are going to talk about is most requested book, that is the Kafka on the Shore. And like there is one person who comments on every video that where is the Kafka on the Shore video. So here it goes, the review about the Kafka on the Shore. This book is really book, like it's almost 500 pages book with small letters or the small font. If I want to talk about this book, the names are very different. It's about story of two different world connecting at the one point. Let's consider you have one conscious mind and you have one unconscious mind, and you are living in that both world at the same time. और उस दोनों वर्ल्ड में दो अलग अलग स्टोरियाँ चल रही है, जैसे रियलिटी में कुछ अलग चल रहा है और ड्रीम लाइफ में कुछ अलग चल रहा है. इफ़ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस, देन दिस बुक इज डेफिनेटली फॉर यू. दो द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ दिस बुक इज़ रियली कन्फ्यूजिंग, कि पता नहीं चलता कि इसमें एक्चुअली क्या हो रहा है, क्या किस डायरेक्शन में हमें जाना चाहिए, क्या हो रहा है. देयर आर सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट दैट. बट वेंस यू गेट इन टू दैट बुक, यू विल डेफिनेटली अंडरस्टैंड कि वॉट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, कि दो स्टोरीज क्या है, दो स्टोरीज का डिफरेंस क्या है, एंड हाउ these two stories are connected. And the name suggests, Kafka on the Shore. There is one important lesson or one important point where you will get to know the meaning of this Kafka on the Shore. ये टाइटल का इसका नाम क्या है, टाइटल का मीनिंग क्या है, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इन दिस बुक. अराउंड लास्ट के 3-4 चैप्टर के आसपास तुम्हें समझ में आएगा कि हाउ दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड वेदर दैट इज रियली Okay, I will tell you, this is basically a kind of a song जो आपको एंड में पता चल जाता है कि Kafka on the Shore क्या है. So let's get into the story about the Kafka on the Shore. So it's a story about the Kafka Tamura who runs away from his home. So basically वो अपने घर छोड़ के जाता है अराउंड 15 बर्थडे के टाइम पे, बिकॉज उसके डैड ने एक प्रोफेसी की होती है. नाउ प्रोफेसी इज व्हाट लाइक वी हैव सीन इन द हैरी पॉटर के मूवीज़ में, कि हैरी पॉटर की भी प्रोफेसी थी कि हैरी पॉटर विल किल द वोल्डेमॉर्ट, जो जून के पहले बॉर्न होगा, देन जिसके यहाँ पे निशान होगा, अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स जो प्रोफेसी में थी. द सेम प्रोफेसी हैपन्स विद द काफका तमुरा. काफका तमुरा इज नेम ऑफ द प्रोटैगनिस्ट. तो उसके साथ प्रोफेसी हो जाती है कि ही विल किल हिज फादर एंड ही विल स्लीप विथ हिज मदर एंड सिस्टर. सो उसकी वजह से वो डर के ये छोड़ के चला जाता है कि व्हाट विल हैपन. एंड काफका तमुरा वो अपने 15 बर्थडे को ये छोड़ के अपना विलेज चला जाता है, एंड ही गोज ट्रैवलिंग टू द डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. आफ्टर दैट काफका एक लाइब्रेरी ज्वाइन कर लेता है, कि वन इज ओशिमा एंड मिस साकी. सो बेसिकली उसे लगता है कि ये उसकी मदर एंड सिस्टर है, दैट काइंड ऑफ स्टफ, कि उसे लगता है कि या शायद ये मदर एंड सिस्टर हो सकती है. सो दिस इज द वन साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी की जो यहाँ से शुरू हो रही है, एंड देयर इज अनदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी की जहाँ पे इट बिकम्स मोर एंड मोर इंटरेस्टिंग, लाइक इट्स टू डिफरेंट स्टोरीज कनेक्टेड एट द वन पॉइंट. एंड द सेकंड स्टोरी इज बेसिकली अबाउट द मिलिट्री गाय हु इज नाकाटा. सो आई टोल्ड यू द नेम्स आर रियली हार्ड टू रिमेंबर. सो मुझे ये बुक्स हाथ में पकड़नी पड़ रही है, और आई हैव लाइक लैपटॉप हियर, सो आई एम जस्ट रीडिंग द नेम एंड देन आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट, बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू pronounce the wrong names. The second person is Nakata, who talks to cat. I mean, उसे he can understand the language of the cat, he can talk to cat. Basically वो हर बिल्ली से बात कर सकता है, and first time no one believes that कि वो बिल्ली से बात कर सकता है, and he lost the track of the cat in that zone. एंड बेसिकली वो उसकी लाइफ भी अपसाइड डाउन हो जाती है. ही इज अ मिलिट्री गाय एंड वो कैच से बात कर सकता है. और यहाँ पे काफका तमुरा है who have the prophecy about that. Now these two stories are how connected. For that reason you have to read this book. I'm not going to tell about that what exactly happened at the middle, what are these stories, how these stories are connected, but I'm going to tell you the the simple way. There is unconscious mind and conscious mind, and these stories are, it's like dream life and the real life. So what happens in that zone, you have to go and read this book. To be honest, this book is really big. It took me a lot of time to digest everything in this book, but I really enjoyed it. It was something different, just like when I started with the Agatha Christie books. That was completely different, and this time when I finished this book, I feel really good when I finished the Kafka on the Shore. It's amazing. You should definitely check out. I will put the link in the description. You can go check out audiobook also. The audiobook is also available, so make sure you check out. So that's the mini review about Kafka on the Shore. The next book that I want to talk about by the Murakami is Men Without Men. This is a really good book. There is a reason behind that, because it contains short stories. Basically जिस लोगों को पढ़ना पसंद नहीं, the people who don't like this big fat book about the Murakami, but they want to understand कि Murakami की language कैसी है, Murakami कैसे लिखते हैं, what is the Japanese culture, then this book is definitely for you, because it contains only 7 to 8 short stories, and short stories you can finish in 1 or 2 day. एंड बेसिकली जिनको बड़े बुक्स पढ़ना पसंद नहीं, उन्हें समटाइम्स छोटे बुक्स अच्छे लगते हैं. सो यू कैन पिक अप एनी स्टोरी एंड यू कैन रीड दैट. सो दैट्स द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट दिस मेन विदाउट ह्यूमन. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट ईच एंड एवरी स्टोरी की भाई की स्टोरी में क्या क्या हुआ है, बिकॉज इट विल लाइक अ कंप्लीट समरी. बट आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू द नेम अबाउट द स्टोरीज. लाइक यू कैन सी दैट starts with a drive my car yesterday, an independent organ, then kind, some sign, love, and Men Without Women. So these are the kind of short stories that are available in this book. Again, these stories are really good. The names are really difficult to understand, but once you get familiar with the name, then इतना कुछ problem नहीं होता. You can get along with the easily. So this is the about the Men Without Women. Highly recommended if you are getting into the first time into the Murakami. There is another book called Birthday Girl. So either that book or this book if you want to understand the Murakami. दोनों में से कोई भी बुक आप पकड़ लो, दोनों भी बुक अच्छी है and दोनों ही great है. So you can go check out of this book, and definitely you will get the taste of Japanese culture, कि Japanese culture क्या क्या होता है, Japanese language कैसी होती है, Murakami की language कैसी है. So that's about Men Without Women. Really good book, short story book, so it's easy to finish, easy to digest. The last book that I want to talk about is Orange Wood. Another great book. Most of the time, अगर आप किसी बुकस्टाग्रामर या बुकट्यूबर से पूछोगे कि which one book will you recommend from the Haruki Murakami, they will first suggest to go with the Orange Wood, because this is a very easy language book, and really when I finished that book I realized that it's a very easy as compared to Kafka on the Shore, because it's the language is simple, easy to understand, and story is quite relatable. It's more about friendship, love story, and little bit of Haruki Murakami spices. So or उसकी language. So that's the story about this. That's the a specific language, or if we talk about the readability about this book. Now if I want to talk about the story, again I'm going to pick up the names because it's really hard to remember the name. I will give you the basic idea about this book. So this is a story about the Toru Watabe who recalls his first love. उसका first love नाओका होता है, यानी कि उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड, और गर्लफ्रेंड की बेस्ट फ्रेंड होती है किजुकी को, जिसको ही इज इनटू द 20 years old स्टूडेंट इन टोक्यो. एंड उसके बाद इट जस्ट काइंड ऑफ एक सुसाइड हुआ होता है, एंड सुसाइड के टाइम भी उसकी एक गर्लफ्रेंड होती है जिसके वो प्यार में पड़ जाता है. बेसिकली अगर नॉवेल बिगिन होती है टोरू के साथ, हु इज अ 37 years old, एंड उसे एक इवेंट याद आता है. 20 years पहले उसका फ्रेंड किजुका था और उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड नाओका थी, कि उनके बारे में क्या हुआ था, सुसाइड वगैरह हुई थी, तो उसके बारे में याद आता है. एंड ही फॉल्स इन लव विथ नाओका 20 years old. सो दैट्स द स्टोरी अबाउट दिस स्टार्टेड. बट उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड को मेंटल हॉस्पिटल जाना पड़ता है बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजन अबाउट द सुसाइड एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड नाउ the Toru falls in love with another girl which is Midori. Midori also have some kind of different story because Midori के parents होते हैं, यानी कि उसके parents they are died because of the brain cancer. Now this story gets more and more complicated and more fun to understand, because now you have Toru, then उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड नाको जो कि मेंटल हॉस्पिटल से बाहर आने वाली होती है, then उसका Midori जिसके साथ वो again he is in fall in love, and now these are like 3-4 characters, and this book becomes a lot of interesting. Again, this book is really big, almost 400 pages I will say, like if I give the exact number, 387 pages की ये book है, but really good to understand, easy to read, easy to digest. So if you are going to pick up this book, then make sure you go for this. The first time you are going for Murakami, then you can definitely go for this book. It's really good and easy to understand, easy to digest. So definitely you can go check out Orangewood. So जब मैंने कहा कि like all the booktubers talk about first this book, and that's true, like most of the time this book is really good. But if you are into the short stories, then I will highly suggest you to go with the Men Without Women or the Birthday Girl. So out of these two books, you can pick up any book that you would like to. And that's everything about the three books. Let me know your favorite book. What have you read the Murakami books? Then what is your take on the Murakami books? Where it easy to understand, is it hard to digest for you? Let me know into the comment. I'm really wanting to know कि यार should I go read another Murakami books and post and review or not. So that's specifically about all the three Murakami books review. I'm going to read all the Murakami books hopefully this year or the next year. Probably I will try this year because other books are much bigger than this one and there is a lot of description. But let's see, I will try that. If you are not joined our Telegram group where we share a lot of discussion, make sure you join the Telegram group, and don't forget to join the newsletter where I share a lot of new articles, books that will make your inbox more happy. So make sure you join the newsletter, the link is in the description. So that's pretty much about like today's Murakami review. If you are more interested into the Agatha Christie books, check out this video where I am going to post all the Agatha Christie books review. And if you are more interested into the audiobooks or the Spotify books or the books you should read, check out this video where I shared the books you should read in 2022. So that's all for today's video. See you in the next one.